how to get the most out of these mixes for what you want to do for your family and who you're feeding in your home. So you don't just have to make this the size that is and that the size that is. You could make this focaccia in 4 little portions if you wanted to. If you're just feeding yourself, you could make sure that you very, very well separate these mixes into 4 portions. Take only a quarter of all the instructions, so a quarter of the starter, a quarter of the salt, etc. And you could just make little mini focaccias whenever you wanted to if you're just feeding yourself. Also, you could take the sourdough loaf mix. You could split it into 8 individual dough pieces. I suggest weighing them so you've got the same weight in each dough ball. And then all 8, you could make a little round, like a cage with your hand, knock it around, make little buns. You could bake 8 little buns, right? So you could have sliders or something for dinner. You don't have to make a bread loaf. Also, you could double this if you wanted to make a giant loaf of bread if you had 2 packets. But I want to put a disclaimer out here. I don't want you to do that if you don't have a big Dutch oven that's like 7 litres, or 7 litres is good. Don't do it in a 5 litre, it'll be gummy inside. You got to think about gluten free and that it is a bit of a pain in the butt, right? And it does like to be sticky. So I wouldn't double the recipe and then try and bake it in the same size sort of Dutch oven. I'd be going for a 7 litre Dutch oven and doubling this packet. If you're, feeding the masses and you got 4 or 5 kids and you just want to make one giant loaf, you could do that. You'll also have to think about the cooking time. So you might need to add 10 or 20 minutes to the cooking time that's on the packet just to get right into the middle of that double doughy loaf. So you definitely want to be taking the temperature and pulling it out only when it's cooked in the middle. You can also use this focaccia packet if you mix the mix up and then take little portions off, roll it in between 2 pieces of baking paper and roll it really thin, and you can use it as pizza bases. It's beautiful as pizza bases. It works great in a pizza oven and great just in a regular oven as well. If you're going to do it in the pizza oven, if you've got it on the baking paper, that baking paper is going to burn on the edges because it's so raging hot inside the pizza oven. So what I do is I cut out the paper around the dough, so I've just got the dough on the paper. There's no exposed paper, so that when I put it in, it bakes beautifully. Don't try and pull it off the baking paper to put it in because it's a bloody disaster. It's a mess. Because there's no gluten in it, it just wants to fall apart, but it will bake fabulously and make amazing gluten-free pizzas. So I hope that helps. There's lots of other things you can do with these. And if you have any other ideas or baked anything else amazing, let me know.